It's the Poker News Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 869th episode of the Poker News Podcast. I am Chad Holloway at the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas, joined by Kyna England and Nikki Limo back at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas. We had planned for Mike to be here, but he kind of broke his ankle and is not going to be here. Came to a shock for both of us, but luckily Nikki was willing to step up.
I am Mike. If you want me to bring in a carrot juice and watermelon juice mixed together to prove it. Did you hear about that? That's what he drinks at the Wynn.
I didn't, because he's always bringing what does he bring into the studio?
He's
Starbucks
always got
kinda?
like something different. He's
carrot
got
juice and watermelon juice.
He has I think he had like creatine last week, and like one week he has like tea, and then he's like, try this dragon fruit drink. I don't know. It's always something different, but that is
Psychopath.
disgusting. Yeah. Carrot juice and watermelon juice.
Vegetable, and a melon. No.
Well, this is something different. Me remote hosting, because there's a lot going on in the poker world right now. We have WSOP Paradise down here in the Bahamas, which is where I'm at, of course. You are back in Las Vegas, where the WPT World Championship has taken place. And then Poker News also has people over in Europe at the EPT Prague. We're going to get into all of that in this episode. And let me just start by telling you a little bit about what's going on here in the Bahamas. It's been interesting. It's, Phil Hellmuth is here.
Yeah.
And, I know Mike's not a big fan of Phil Hellmuth.
I'm a huge fan of Phil Hellmuth.
I was waiting to see some sort of grand entrance. I guess that got skipped this year.
Yeah, so I actually asked him because he showed up. He saw me in the hallway. And Phil does this every once in a while. He gets really excited when he sees people. Sometimes he'll walk by you like he doesn't know you, but other times he'll get really excited. And this time he was really excited.
Aww.
He took a selfie. So there's actually a picture of me and him that a photographer snapped, which I've shared on social media. But then Phil did a selfie of us that he shared in a tweet, which was very flattering for me. And it was very exciting, of course, to have the all-time WSOP bracelet winner at WSOP Paradise. But no grand entrance. There's not going to be one. I asked him last year, he came dressed as Poseidon, the king of the seven seas, but not this time. This time it's just Phil with whatever hat he's wearing these days.
I was there last year, and we heard about this like ordeal that was being filmed down by the beach with all the mermaids. So a couple of us just followed the mermaids, like trying to see if we could see it happen. And he came so late, like we were bored and over it. So we just left, but it still seemed to be pretty cool. Like, a little beach shoot with 16 mermaids.
It's a novelty to have him do those entrances. The poker world takes it for granted.
Well, it's been a lot of fun down here. Obviously, the Atlantis, this used to be the home of the PCA. This is the second year that the WSOP Paradise has been here. The property is amazing. There's lots to do. The tournament area looks great. And one of the main reasons for that is because they have a new stage set up. I tweeted this out. You've probably seen it on social media, or if you've been watching the Triton streams, there's this 3-table setup that is quite amazing. And I spoke to some people, like, this is the new WSOP set. It was designed, inspired by the people at Triton, but the WSOP has every intention to bring this over to Las Vegas. It's got all the LED screens, so you can change the color, you can change the logos. It is pretty sweet. And it was like the first thing I was like, okay, this is a new upgrade under the new ownership, GG Poker owning the WSOP. This was like the first thing I seen it. Kind of, you've been watching the streams, the set that I'm talking about.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They had a lot of different tables, surprisingly, that they were switching between to highlight different hands. And, when the business, the invitees and when the pros were playing separately, they had a table for each. And then every once in a while they'd flip to like the outside tables and everything. So I think it was done really well. It was really fun to follow. You get to see a little bit more of the tournament than just the feature table. So that's nice.
Yeah, the event that you're referencing was the Triton Millions.
Yeah.
So this is the first Triton event that I've ever been at or been a part of. This collaboration is the first time for the WSOP and Triton. The concept was a invitee, as you described, maybe otherwise called a VIP or a businessman, businesswoman, that Triton invited. They get an invitation if they want to put up $500,000, and then they can extend an invite to a poker pro who then also has to put up $500,000. So it's $1 million between them. And on day one, they play in separate flights where the VIPs, invitees, play in one field and the pros play in another. And whoever survives then combine into a single field on day two. And so this was a hot ticket for a lot of poker pros. There were many that didn't get in. Jesse Lonis, Chris Hunichin are a couple that jumped to mind that wanted to get in. Chris Brewer was another. But we did have a pretty stacked field. We'll get into that to talk about what was a shock to, I'm sure, the players, the viewers, and especially us here on site reporting it. And that was there was a bust out in the very first hand. We're talking about a tournament that starts you with $1 million in chips and the blinds at 2,000, 3,000 with a 3,000 big blind ante. That's 333 big blinds in a stack. And there still managed to be a bust out.
Wow.
Are you, either of you familiar with this hand?
Yeah, I saw it. $500,000 hand, man. What a crazy one.
Crazy.
It was. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll just describe it real quick because they didn't actually catch it. I don't think did they catch it on camera?
No, I just read the article. It was a PokerNews article. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was just one that our live reporters caught. So there were 74 players in the field, 37 invitees, 37 pros. And in this one, it was Sinan Unlu open for 7K. And then Jared Blesnik, who just won 3 high-stakes duels against Patrick Antonius, won a bracelet this past summer. He was an invitee.
Yeah.
I guess it's because of his sports card business, but also he claimed in Daniel Negreanu's vlog it's because he sucks at No Limit Hold'em. I don't know, but he got into this thing. He ended up inviting Alex Kulev. He ended up 3-betting to 25K. David Einhorn, another invitee. He was in the small blind 4-bet to 77K, and it folded to Blesnik, who 5-bet to 225K, and that's when Einhorn just 6-bet shoved all in 1 million and gets snap called. Nikki, you want to guess what Blesnik had?
Pocket jacks? Pocket fives?
Pocket aces. He actually had aces this time.
Yeah, Bles had aces.
Well, he just had it.
And Einhorn had ace king. So
do you 6-bet jam or with ace king? What's going on here?
It's pretty open faced when it's a 6-bet jam.
I mean, maybe he was thinking like play the player.
Yeah, maybe he was thinking his image was a little looser because of how he acts. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of like the Poker Ghost streams where he had won, but he was like open sports cards at the table, like pretty much like I don't take the game seriously type of image. And I don't know how he was playing previous to this hand, but
it was the first hand. It was the very first hand of the tournament. Yeah,
and I don't know if he like talked to the people at the table beforehand to try to set that image, but
pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Nice start. There was
there was a king on the flop, so Einhorn did get a sweat, but then it bricked out. So this was actually a re-entry tournament with the condition, though, that you had to re-enter within 30 minutes of busting, which I really liked, right? That prevents people from max late regging or anything like that. Einhorn did end up re-entering, and he went on to cash the tournament. He ended up finishing in 13th place for $865,000. So he was in for $1 million, won $865,000, so he got a little bit of a rebate there. But it was an interesting final table. Chance Kornuth bubbled the final table. Texas Mike was in this field. He was an invitee. He was partnered with Sean Deeb, who was playing in his biggest buy-in ever. Those two came in. Now they're not playing together like as a team, but they were the pair that entered. We've talked a lot about Texas Mike, and he was, I think, the chip leader for the first 2 days.
Yeah, he was a chip leader for quite a while. I was rooting for him. I was like, every time I saw an article, I was like, go Texas Mike. Mm-hmm. It's just, he's a hometown hero from the Midwest, and you like to see him do well. Like, I think I've mentioned this before. I used to play like $400 circuit events with him, back in the day. And now to see him playing like the biggest tournament out there, and running hot and doing well. And it was interesting. He played some big ones with, I think he was at the same table with like Lococo for a while. And they're just two like super aggressive players that like to play big pots. So it was a really cool dynamic. But yeah, unfortunately, I was rooting for him to win. But what did he finish? Like 8th or something, 7th?
Yeah, he was 9th for $1.2 million. Yeah. So still showed a profit because he was only in for one bullet. And then you mentioned Ben Heath had a little spin up when you were watching on the stream. I didn't get to see that in person, because I wasn't able to watch every single hand. But Ben Heath, he ended up making it to heads up play against the aforementioned Alejandro Lococo.
Yeah, I didn't quite, I was watching it from my office and I didn't quite see, I saw him lose a big one where he made a hero call against Lococo, but I think he was still left with a bit of chip. So he must have lost some more somewhere, and he was down to half a small blind. Like, blinds were 300K, 600K, and he had 175. And he won a 3-way all-in to triple up. And then he doubled up like 2 or 3 or 4 more times. And all of a sudden, with 5 players left, he's third in chips. And it was so crazy to watch.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, the other 2 guys were like, oh, man, hand. And there was actually one hand that was kind of key, is that I think what happened was he went all in and he was still pretty short. I think maybe he had like 2 blinds, and Lococo like isolated. And the other guy was like, and Ben Heath won. Like, but the other guy that was in the big blind was like, why would you do that? Like, you know, why wouldn't you let me call? And like, so we could both play the hand. And he was kind of like, I'm not here to help you, man. Like, this does not help me. If this guy goes out, this helps you, you know? And it was interesting because they were talking about it on screen. And, you know, it's a bit of a collusion question, a little dicey to even kind of bring up, I think. But
it's like an unwritten collusion thing that people know about and do because pay jumps and stuff. But you're not really, you don't really talk about it.
Right. And when you're the chip leader, like, you don't want the short stack to bust. Like, that's why he said it directly to the guy. He's like, I'm not here to help you, man. It was great. But yeah, Ben Heath ended up coming back. He was, I guess he finished second. It was such a commanding lead, though, that Lococo had when they went heads up. I think something like 6 or 7 to 1. I don't even know. But yeah, he just ran the table pretty much. It was great. It was a great show.
Alejandro Lococo, you might know him. He's a PokerStars ambassador, but beyond that, he's a very famous rapper from Argentina, like very, very famous down there. And he just fell in love with poker, started playing, got a couple deep runs, I think, in the WSOP main event, if I recall, maybe even made the final table. But anyways, loved poker. He was going to go to EPT Prague, but then Adrian Mateos, his friend, talked him into coming to this. So Lococo was a invitee, invited Adrian Mateos, and then Lococo wins it for just over $12 million. That automatically puts him in second place on Argentina's all-time money list, behind only Nacho Barbero, who was also in this tournament. And we actually have a little winner's interview with Lococo. Check it out.
I'm a pro, and I'm facing a rapper from Argentina, knowing the economy situation, and knowing that it's a 500 buy-in, his first 500K buy-in. I wouldn't expect, like all these crazy hands. So yeah, I think my style works. Probably if I play like 200 times with these guys, they're gonna find an amazing strategy. But lucky for me, I beat them in my first Triton. I won my trophy, I won my bracelet, I won my money.
All right, congratulations to Alejandro Lococo on his first bracelet. Another player to capture gold down here at WSOP Paradise was PLO specialist Lautaro Guerra out of Spain. Event number 3, it was 100K PLO Omaha super high roller. It ended up getting 88 runners. Now get this, there's only been 5 PLO tournaments with a buy-in in 6-figure territory, I believe it is. And this is one of them. This was the largest ever for a PLO event of this size, 88 runners. And Ben Tollerine, who finished runner-up in a bracelet event this summer, finished runner-up yet again in this tournament, taking down 1.5 million, but it was Spain's Lautaro Guerra taking it down for $2.1 million.
Always a bridesmaid, never bride.
I loved Ben Tollerine. I've known him for a very long time, and this the whole New York assassin of the healthcare CEO, Luigi, not Mario. Luigi, he got arrested. Anyways, they bared the surveillance photo bared a striking resemblance to Ben Tollerine. That's all I'm going to say. Obviously, it wasn't him, but when it came out, it was like, wait, that's got that same kind of smile. It obviously wasn't Ben, but he's down here playing PLO. Anyways,
what a compliment. Hey, you look like a murderer.
Let us talk about something that happened back there in Las Vegas, something I was very sad to miss, and that was the 2024 Women in Poker Hall of Fame ceremony and induction. It was held at the Plaza in downtown Las Vegas. This year's inductees were Kristen Foxen and Jeanne David. I've been to a couple of these in the past when Maria Ho was inducted. It's always a lot of fun, and I think it's a great cause. Women in Poker Hall of Fame, it's starting to pick up steam. And I got to ask you, as 2 prominent females in the poker space, any aspirations to maybe one day be in the halls of the Women in Poker Hall of Fame?
I mean, yeah, definitely. That would be like a big honor. I think we've talked about this before where it seems like, a good inductee is also, a accomplished player as well as, doing things for the community, doing things for women in poker. So actively trying to always be aware of what we're doing, for that aspect. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of green still. I mean, people always think I'm a lot younger than I am, but I do qualify age-wise. I just haven't been around long enough. So maybe the next time around, we'll see. But that, would be a huge honor. And there's still some, tough competition out there. Some ladies I think should have already gotten in or should definitely get in next time. So happy to see it. Happy to vote for these ladies. Always happy to see it happen.
Yeah, I like to root for everybody. I just started in this industry a few years ago. So I don't even dream of that. Something like that is so new on the bucket list. If it happened, obviously that would be such an honor. But I also just think there's so many really qualified women that deserve it. And then also, I feel like they should, and this is just a personal point, but I really feel like they should add more people at a time because if it's only two a
special
year,
then no.
Well, yeah, but true. But think of how much life that people have. You have to be is it 40?
35 maybe?
35, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 40.
You had to have been in poker for 10 years.
Okay, so you had to have been in poker for 10 years, and you have to be a certain age, and then it's only 2 years. So, the older ladies, I just feel let's get them in there.
Well, I mean, it seems like that's what they're doing. They're, they got Chrissy B and then Jeanne David. Is that what
Jeanne David. And then they also did, I remember they added this special category for
right.
An old school player. And this year it was Starla Brody who got in. So they are trying to find a way of getting some people in who the general masses might not know these days, but certainly deserve to get in.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's exciting. We will aspire to
But
that
yeah,
someday.
Chrissy getting, I'm just of course, that's awesome. So happy.
Well, I've got a fun story about both Jeanne David and Kristen Foxen. So let me start with the latter. The other will be in a few minutes here. But so Kristen Foxen was not at the ceremony. She was going to WSOP Paradise, and the Women in Poker Hall of Fame, Lupe Soto, runs it. She reached out to me, and she knew I was coming here. She said, "Hey, would you take the trophy down there for us and present it to Kristen?" And I said, of course, honored to do it. And then she asked if PokerNews would maybe help film a segment. I said, of course, it would be an honor to do that as well. So we actually went, and Maria Ho was here, who is, of course, in the Women in Poker Hall of Fame. She presented Kristen with the trophy, and Kristen gave a little speech that we filmed. She then took some photos with, her husband, Alex, is down here. There's a great picture of him picking her up while she's holding the trophy. And then I thought it would be fun because I was there. I filmed it. This was also aired at the ceremony back in Vegas. But Kristen Foxen's acceptance speech, check it out.
Hi, we're so sorry that we couldn't be there with you all. We hope you're having such a wonderful ceremony so far. I'm Maria Ho, and on behalf of the class of 2018 Women in Poker Hall of Fame, we're so proud to welcome you, Kristen, into the Women in Poker Hall of Fame, class of 2024.
Thank you so much. First off, I just want to say thank you so much for Maria and PokerNews and the Women's Hall of Fame for organizing this year. We have bracelets to win, so we couldn't make it there today. When I was 18, my friends were using fake IDs to go drinking, and I was just trying to play poker. They didn't let me in, but as soon as they did, I was fueled and loved the experience of being underestimated at the poker table. And quickly in my poker career, I decided I was pretty determined to try to show that women can compete, and I just wanted to be as successful as I could be. And here I am, almost 20 years later. I try to, battle with the best and play the highest I can. And it's not only for my own ego or my own benefit, but also just to represent women in poker and to try to hopefully encourage other women to do the same. Your seat belongs to you or any man at the poker table. And I think it's really important. When I was first nominated, I actually didn't know too much about the Women of Poker Hall of Fame, and I was really inspired and happy to read about all of the women who are doing so much for poker and women in poker. And even in the 20 years that I've been involved, we've really seen a change in the marketing for women towards poker. And I feel like presence just grows and grows. And there's so many successful women who are up and coming, and I love to see it. And I congratulate a fellow nominee. And thank you so much for voting me in. It's just such an honor. And I'm really, just so proud to be here. And I hope to inspire other women to do the same.
All right, there you go. Congratulations to Kristen Foxen on her Women in Poker Hall of Fame induction. I'm going to talk about Jeanne David in a minute because it's WPT related. But before I get there, I want to wrap up something we talked about in last week's episode, and that was the 2024 WPT Seminole Rock and Roll Poker Open down there at the Seminole Hard Rock in Florida. There wasn't a winner at the time we recorded last week, but there is now, and that was 33-year-old Florida resident Dylan Smith taking it down for $662,000, defeated Matthew Benier. Heads up, I think Benier's only like 23 years old, really young, ended up winning $440K for his second place finish, 1,435 runners there. You had Landon Tice, the young wonderkin there, $245,000 for finishing in fourth place.
Cool.
Congrats. That's awesome.
Well, now I know a lot of those guys, and I know Landon specifically, are all going to be back in Vegas. The WPT World Championship Festival at the Wynn is underway. Look, I'm at WSOP Paradise. I'm having fun, but there is some FOMO. I'm sure both sides, but for me, it's like, man, I'm missing out on the WPT. So I got to ask you, you're there, you're back in Vegas. What's it been like down at the Wynn?
It's fun. I mean, I went yesterday just to kind of a bunch of, it's a fun time of year, right? Like a bunch of our friends are here now
in town.
So you want to see everybody. So I hung out with a bunch of people. I just kind of social butterflied yesterday. I didn't play anything. But so many people there. The prime is huge. So many runners. Like I was talking to Ryan Bogard and he was just, kind of excited about it. That $800 event got ridiculously big. They're making space everywhere. They've got people in the sports book. They've got people still like in that extended poker room area. So I've got some friends playing it today that were just saying the prime is just the line, the registration. Everybody wants in, everybody wants to do it. Nikki's going to play tomorrow, right?
I'm playing tomorrow. In general, like even being here, you're saying you have FOMO being here, but there's FOMO all over the place, even being here, because whatever you're not playing, you want to be playing it. Yep. The lines are long or you don't have a passport or whatever. Like there's just so much I want to be everywhere all at once.
Yeah, it's great.
I know. One of the great things about the passport was they have like this last chance, right? They have some sort of drawing where you can go in and draw, but they have different prizes. They have passports. They have that McLaren.
There's a McLaren.
The golden car.
Yeah.
But then they have some dud
They have
prizes
cool
too,
hats.
Right?
What are you talking about, dud? That's what we wanted.
Swag.
We got that.
It's funny. Like every time someone pull it, they all say that. They'd be like, and you won? Swag. But yeah, we did. Both of us pulled. I pulled with my friend Angela, and well.
Okay, ready? Do it. Another happy customer. That's what you wanted, right?
Yes,
They both already have passports, so we don't feel bad about it. Okay, some of us don't have one, and some of us bubbled the qualifier, and some of us almost were like within a minute of getting one online. But I don't know who those people are, but some of us
that really
out
sucks
here,
for those people.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's like exclusive to not be in that free roll, so that's like pretty exclusive since everybody's in it. Like to not be in it is like kind of really cool, actually. So.
All right, well, one person who did have some luck with one of those drawings, I mentioned her before, Jeanne David, Women in Poker Hall of Famer now. She went to the drum to draw an envelope, and she got a gold pass, which I thought was pretty awesome. Hell of a week. She gets in the Women in Poker Hall of Fame. She goes. She actually told me she didn't think she won anything. She looked at the envelope, but then she turned it over and saw what was there, and they actually had video of her winning it. Check it out.
Okay, you can do it now.
Capture this moment for posterity. Okay, so pick out one, and you can just step right over here and open up that bad boy and see what life has in store for you. Maybe it's McLaren. Maybe it's a hat. Looks like it's nothing. Oh, it's a golden passport! Yes, congratulations. We need more
All right. Well, congratulations to Jeanne David on her gold pass there.
Oh, and I just wanted to mention, because you said that drum thing is the last resort if you didn't win a qualifier. But actually, if you're one of the very few people that have not won a golden passport yet, there is actually another chance. If you are playing one of the satellites, they're doing these milestone satellites for the main event. And if you win a main event ticket in the satellite, you also win a golden passport.
Well, that'll just be for you because this will air Friday.
Oh, all right. Well,
that's okay. Sorry,
I won a golden passport, so that was cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, wouldn't that be crazy though? If you have your rant and then all of a sudden this is out Friday and you're like, just kidding, guys.
I like that timeline. That's great. That would be awesome.
We'll cross our fingers for Nikki.
Yeah, because the free roll is going to be taking place later this afternoon as this episode actually comes up.
We are in the free roll now.
Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
What a particular day for luck.
Well, somebody I hope that is in it as well. We got tagged in this shortly before we started recording this. I guess Nadya Magnus, who's done some great things with giveaways over the years, and then reigning WPT champ Dan Sepiol.
Sepiol.
How do you say it? Sepiol.
I always
I didn't want to mess
Sepiol,
it up.
but I feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Said it wrong?
That it's Sepiol.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
No, it's Sepiol
It
because when we mentioned him last week, he messaged me saying thank you for pronouncing it right.
Okay, sorry, Danny. Sepiol.
Like sepia toned.
Yeah.
We're going to get it right.
The hottest guy in poker. That's what we talked about last week.
I see. He kind of looks like the Luigi guy.
They teamed up to do a giveaway of some gold passes, and somebody commented on their tweet. It was Tiffany Langston. She's been trying to win a seat for a while, I guess. She even tried to win one with the PokerNews giveaway, and she did like a little rap video to kind of draw some attention. And look, I thought it was pretty good.
It was good.
You thought it was pretty good, right?
I thought it was really good. I retweeted it. So give her some love, guys.
Yeah, I hope she finds her way to a golden passport. But I also wanted to share the video with you.
Well, it wouldn't be a golden passport, though. It's for
a main event ticket.
Nadia's contest. So the contest is for ladies that haven't won a golden passport. So I think it's probably still open while this airs. Ladies that haven't won a golden passport have $250,000 or less in Hendon Mob winnings. If they make a video that is describing their adventure trying to win a golden passport, she and Danny are giving out 2 main event seats. So it's for the 10K. Yeah, not the passports.
Good. Thank you for the clarification. I see that now in the tweet, but like that's even more exciting because she's done a really good job. I hope she gets into the championship, but check out the video. You'll know what we're talking about.
Now this is a story all about how a $5 million free roll captivated a crowd of both amateurs and pros, and I wasn't exempt. I'll give you all the details of my many attempts. To grab a golden passport and a seat at the win, where 25% are paid in the city of sin. 1 million to first, mystery bounties galore, and 2,000 runners playing for a life-changing score. I used Jamie's code, signed up for my chance to be randomly selected for this incredible dance. While I was waiting, I saw Chad's tweet, but my guess was too high to win PokerNews a seat. My friend AJ posted that I could satellite and do it the old-fashioned way and play for the win. I competed in 9 turbos on Club WPT, came heartbreakingly close, but it wasn't meant to be. In my best try, I went out 4 from the money. I could almost taste it. It wasn't even funny, at least not like the song. I did my best to explain. I just hope that all my efforts were not in vain.
All right, there you have it. Pretty clever, pretty creative. Tiffany, I hope you find your way into the WPT World Championship. And if not, a good consolation prize for her and others is apparently Phil Ivey is moving down in stakes. Now, he was here at the WSOP Paradise. We thought, he's going to be here. He's going to be playing Triton. But he will be back in Las Vegas because it was announced there is going to be a WPT Christmas meetup game on December 17th from 9 a.m. to noon. 2-5, no limit hold'em. It'll be Phil Ivey, Lynn Gilmartin, Tony Dunst, Matt Savage, Brad Owen, Vince Van Patten, and a bunch of other pros. Nikki, maybe you'll find your way in there to battle with Phil Ivey.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I went last year and battled with Phil Ivey, but I actually didn't battle him. I was sitting behind him because I was one of like the temporary, like this fill-in ambassadors. Like last year, if you win all in with one of the ambassadors, you win a drawing to whatever. So like they have different prizes and things every year, I feel like. But yeah, Gus Hansen was there and I fangirled and I made him sign my book.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, so were you like the consolation? Like if you don't get to sit with Phil Ivey, you get to sit with Nikki Limo?
No, they rotated. So everyone got to sit with all of us, kind of. But I just couldn't sit next to Phil Ivey because I was in the seat that he would take.
Okay, I get it.
Jerk. The consolation prize.
It's equally cool.
Yeah, I think it was equally cool for everybody. Okay.
Well, once again, that meetup game will be on December 17th from 9 a.m. to noon. It's first come, first serve, so make sure you get down to the win early. Speaking of cash games, well, the WPT Prime was going on the early flights. They were utilizing the main stage and the TV setup to stream a cash game. I believe it was a 100, 200, 200 no limit hold'em cash game. Most everybody bought in for $50K. One player bought in for $100K. And there was an interesting hand. The title of the article that John Sofin wrote about it was "Nobody Runs Like Berkey. Poker podcaster delivers gross six-figure bad beat." I'm just going to show the clip and then we'll talk about it. Check it out.
Justin picking up number 1. Oh no, and Berkey is the pocket tens.
You should take your own advice.
Oh, this has the recipe for a massive pot between the big Squid Game being on, the player types that are up against each other. Ooh. Justin just trying to figure out what would be the best way to pile all the chips in. Likely going with the small 4-bet. But this 3-bet's so large.
21?
Yes. All options are on the table. Yes, he finds the 21. Berkey immediately piles it in.
No, come on, man.
I'm going to put Berkey on 10 queen offsuit.
I have a 10.
Oh.
Ace
Another
10.
10.
Oh, you have 10.
And just like that, we have a
It's a rarity
140K
Berkey
pot.
with hand.
I know.
Almost like,
he was as shocked as I was.
Yeah.
The timing is spooky.
What we're just saying, the day is young.
My last name's Young.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Nobody runs like Berkey. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Nobody runs like Berkey.
Relax. It's not over.
Which way do you want it? Jack Queen or just an ace?
Queen.
Jack Queen? All right, just an ace. Let's settle for an ace.
All right. 10 or an ace. I don't like this answer.
10 or an ace.
I don't care.
Either way.
That's
I don't
very
want either of
fair
those outcomes.
by Justin.
I'll take a 4. Any 10 or any ace.
刚才我和你也是两张发出来，太好了。
They did turn the air back on. You can feel it.
Okay. Now, if you
All right,
could
just get
flop
Colton
me
Berkey
an
just runs
opening.
like that.
Wow. Not only
Flop me an
does
opening
Berkey
under,
get at
that'd be
least half
great.
of this
Having
pot with
flashbacks.
the 20%
I'll
hand.
accept it. I don't give a shit. You're not that super.
But also, he gets the squid chip because he
I'm
won the first run out.
thinking-
That's sick.
7, 8, 9. For the ace, not for the ace 9, Justin. You got a little lucky earlier.
Oh my god.
Oh no, not like this. Not like this.
Put the ace out.
Just not a 9. The 9 will give me a heart attack. It looks too similar to a 10.
Oh, no.
Dude, nobody runs like him.
Oh,
It's so
no.
sickening. It's so sickening.
Oh, my God.
I
跟我刚才那
love
副一样的呀。
this. Should have prepaid.
This is
刚才
so
那副
sick.
我领先，跟我领先，你看好。
It's so sick, dude.
Ace. Fucking ace. It's not
Please, ace.
TV. Put a deuce out there.
这个小胖发的。
See, this is why you show no empathy, because I don't feel bad at all.
That is so sick.
Nobody runs like Berkey.
Say it again. Say it for everybody in the back.
All right, there you have it. Matt Berkey, getting it in with 10s against aces and just finding a 10 on the first run out and then on the second. Kyna, I mean, is it true? Nobody runs like Berkey?
I guess not. He was sun running that. I was watching it earlier, and oh man, poor Justin Young. Sorry. He's such a nice guy too. He's a fun guy. I've played with him before. He always is like a glass of bourbon or whiskey or whatever he drinks. And just wasn't his day, man. Berkey was running like God. So
yeah, sometimes Berkey runs really cold though, so it balances out. And I think that he's had a sun run coming. Like he's had a good he had it coming. I think he was due, as they say. But yeah, wow, what a terrible beat to lay on him.
He's due. He did win $1 million off Nick Airball.
That was over a year ago, Chad.
$1 million.
We're due at least once a year. Come on.
Fair.
Oh yeah. Instead of looking back, I'll look forward. Because
I'm due. Okay. Pretty
well, hopefully you're due in. There's a bunch of events coming up, right? So you got the WPT World Championship, that $10,400 buy-in that's running December 14th through the 21st. You also have the WPT Ladies Championship on the December 14th and 15th. That's an $1,100 buy-in. There's a $25K WPT Alpha 8 from the 18th to the 19th. And then, of course, starting today, as you're watching this, running through the weekend is the $5 million invitational free roll. I hope that one of you do pretty well, or Mike, because Mike gave Kyna and I both a piece of his invitation. Hopefully his ankle's good enough, but I don't think he's going to miss that one.
I really hope I sent him a link to get a scooter so that he can make his way around a little bit better.
Does it have a cup holder for his gross juice?
I think so. I think he'll become the new Mike Matisow, Mike Holtzesow. So rolling around in his scooter, yelling at people, get out of the way, with his broken ankle. But sorry, Mike, but we do hope that you feel better and that we will see you on Friday. I will drag him there. He will be there.
Well, you mentioned Mike Matisow. He was actually one of the last players to win a golden passport. So here is our final highlight video showcasing some of those players, bigger names who have won such a passport and will be playing this weekend. Check it out. All right, congratulations to all those golden passport winners and good luck in the free roll. Maybe you can follow in the footsteps of a winner over there at the ARIA Classic.
Yeah, I'm really happy for those golden passports.
This is going to air and you're going to have one and it's going to be silly.
I'm happy for them, okay? So I just said I'm happy. Anyway, what's up with the ARIA free roll now? We're talking about ARIA?
Well, kind of. We noticed your hoodie. What's going on with that?
Oh, yeah. So I was over at the ARIA the other day. They're having a little series over there. And I played the $800 one-day mystery bounty. It was really fun. They've got a nice setup over there. So fun event for sure.
I'm playing the main.
Go ahead.
It seems fun. Like,
Good.
Aria just does a great job. You know, I know everyone's talking about the Win in Vegas, and the Win is amazing, and we know that it's beautiful. But the Aria is like my home base. I'm a cash player that moved into tournaments, and I always play cash at Aria, and I love Aria. Shout out to Aria. We love them.
Yes.
Well, somebody else who's loving them right now is poker legend Erick Lindgren. It was an event number 6, an 800 PLO mystery bounty event, 174 runners, and he took it down for $36,000, which included $18,000 in bounties. I love these old school players. I'm always going to, and Erick Lindgren is among those. How cool was it to see E-Dog win one?
Yeah, I think it's always nice to see one of the OGs win. So good job, Erick. Congrats.
I hope he can carry that momentum over to the WPT maybe. Let's go across the pond real quick and give us some love to the EPT, European Poker Tour Prague, that is taking place. Now, you both just got back from Europe. It wasn't an EPT per se, but it was a PokerStars event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun.
In London, the Women's Winter Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had to have Jeff Matson fill in for Kyna while she was gone, and now you get to fill in for Mike while he's gone. So that's
we're interchangeable.
We just bring our friends along, you know.
Next time I'll be Kyna could be Jeff. Yeah.
You could be Mike.
Well, the EPT is taking place right now. We've got live updates. I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of the side event winners. One is Thomas Santerne. He's won 2 events. He won a 20,000 euro buy-in no limit hold'em for 175,000 euros, and then just 4 days later, won the 50,000 euro super high roller for 385,000 euros. So taking down 2 EPT titles there. And then a familiar name in Espen Jorstad, the 2022 World Series of Poker main event winner, took one down.
Yeah, the 25K, right?
Yeah, it was the 25K super high roller warm up for $277,000. We're not going to show the hand, but it was an interesting one because it was 3-handed. He busted 2 players. And then boom,
that
no
was
need
cool.
for heads up play.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I love those.
fun. That's nice.
As a poker reporter, you love those sort of hands. 'Cause it's like,
you don't have to be there till 3 a.m.
But you can check out PokerNews.com for all the live updates from the EPT Prague. And of course, we'll touch upon that in next week's episode. I want to thank our sponsor for this week's episode, and that is the #1 free-to-play app, WSOP. I'm on there all the time, playing the Daily Blitz, playing the video poker, and playing PLO, which is my game of choice, and occasionally some no limit hold'em, but all kinds of little side games and adventures. They're always updating with whatever theme is happening at a certain time of the year. If you want to check it out, you can check out the review on Poker News and use Poker News as a bonus code to get 1 million in chips. Now, speaking of the WSOP, the last episode we did, I think it was the last episode anyways, you had to get out of there quickly because you were going over to the WSOP circuit at the Horseshoe to play the ladies event. I know you didn't win because you tweeted out that you were drinking some wine somewhere.
Yeah, I think I had dinner.
Was drinking wine? That's crazy.
I had dinner with Lindsay at the Gordon Ramsay place at the Paris as our loser lounge, which isn't the worst place to be. But it was a great event. I mean, lots of ladies turned up, so it was fun to play. Circuit always seemed to run smooth. So I only played that event, though, so I can't say much about the rest of it.
That was Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
It was Thanksgiving week, and F1 had just finished. So they're trying to squeeze a circuit in between everything, but they still managed to give away 18 rings. They had the $1,700 main event. There was a $3,300 high roller that Eric Baldwin won. Shout out to Baseball D, one of my favorite guys. He's originally from Wisconsin, now living in Vegas for a long time, but he wins that high roller, and then winning the main event for almost $140,000 was David Jackson, another well-known guy in the poker world.
Yeah, good job, David. He's a circuit grinder. I think he travels the circuit, plays a lot of those. So, well done. Nice to see one of the people you know around win. You know, I think also Darren Rabinowitz won like a $2,200 one. Or something
he
like
won
that.
a ring the same day he got notified of winning a golden passport. Like he's also one of those people.
It's like everybody has a golden passport.
It's almost like everybody I know in Vegas has one, and I'm so happy for them.
I hope you win one in the satellite, and we have to put I'm just saying, it's not over yet, Nikki. It's not over.
I know.
Don't give up hope.
They haven't put me out of my misery
But
yet.
anyway, congratulations, Darren and David and Eric and all the other winners at the WSOP circuit at the Horseshoe.
All right, well, let's turn our attention to Florida real quick. We talked about Bar Poker Open in last week's episode and just bar poker in general. They had their 2024 Bar Poker Open Florida World Championship down there in Florida, and it was a fun event. 396 runners. PokerNews was live reporting it, and Norman Chad went down there, and Norman Chad ended up cashing his first ever no limit hold'em tournament. He finished in, I think, like 9th place.
How many times did he buy in?
I hope just once. Otherwise, he's going to catch a lot of shit. But he did a great job. I don't know if you've seen any of the content coming out of there from Jesse Folan and Glenn McCrory and their crew, but Norman Chad is just a perfect fit for Bar Poker Open and vice versa, in my opinion. And you're going to see a video here in a minute of Norman Chad conducting a winner's interview with one John Germano, who qualified in via the Eastern Poker Tour. So he plays in this tournament. He then wins. Brace yourself, Nikki. He won a golden passport as part of his.
Literally everybody did.
He wins the golden passport along with $30,000, which was just a great score for him. And he, as I said, sat down with Norman Chad. Check it out.
John, you started in third in chips, but not a lot of chips. You're pretty steady. The deck was kind to you. At what point did you say, hey, I can win this thing?
I actually, I said I can win it when I noticed the big stack. I don't want to talk bad about people or anything like that, but I just noticed that the big stack wasn't punishing everybody like they're supposed to be. And I'm like, if I can start getting some chips, I can start putting a lot of pressure on people. And I felt a lot of weakness on the table. And that's what I did. I put pressure on people. A couple times I got called off and I lost a little chips, but for the most part, a lot of luck involved too, especially at the end, heads up. Every time he raised, I just called because any two cards pretty much heads up. And I would always smash the flop heads up. That's how I got his chips pretty quick.
Before that, even before your heads up and you had position on Pierre, the big stack, you got the best of him several times where he would maybe bet a flop and then you would actually raise with a better hand usually and he would lay it down. So you were getting the best of him a lot.
That even on mid raises, a couple of mid raises, phenomenal play. I'm like, how could you lay? I'm only mid raising, So he's a good player. He came in second.
Final hand. Y'all get it in on the flop. You have the best of it. He turns two pair to take the lead. Did you realize you made a straight on the river?
No, he told me. I was ready to pay him off.
Yeah, your body language, it looked like you didn't know it. I wasn't sure.
The dealer didn't even know it.
The dealer didn't even know it, yeah.
Yeah, and then nice way to end.
Yeah, it's a great way to end. The moment you realized that you had that straight, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was. Great feeling. I've been in a lot of tournaments, I've come in first place a lot of places. But I've never a big tournament like this, a big tournament like this. My best live cash was, I think it was 12,000. Did that a few times. But this is the best by far.
30K. You mentioned earlier to me that you might think about getting a car. Yeah, I'm sure you might reconsider it.
Yeah, I definitely gonna get a car.
And if you want to be here next year or make your way to Las Vegas, find your league at barpokeropen.com. Go online, you can join, find out where you can play.
All right, congratulations again to John Germano on winning the 2024 Bar Poker Open Florida World Championship. That's really all I have for this episode. We've covered a lot of ground. There's still a lot that's going to take place in the next week or so in the poker world. I mean, the WSOP Paradise is still happening down here. I'm going to be here the entire time. WPT World Championship. You both have a lot of events going on. I feel like things are just they're just starting to get going.
They're cooking.
How are you guys feeling?
There's so
You're
much
cooking.
going on, man. Look at all of the winners we just had to mention because of how much is going on. December is poker month, I guess,
It really is it does in Vegas, at least. It really feels like the Winter Olympics, like the WSOP is like Summer Olympics, and then here's like the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, I think
here.
There's like I saw a bunch of like side ladies, like Lips is doing some sort of series too that's like traveling around.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, if everyone's going to be in town and the casinos are built to like hold lots of people, so it makes sense for each one to try to kind of get a piece when there's a bigger event going on that's bringing people here.
Yeah,
and there's always people that bust out. And then where do they want to go? You know, they're going to want to go join another tournament. And if there's nowhere for them to go, then like,
yeah, it's kind of same thing. I think at the end of the year too, there's a bunch of New Year's stuff going on. There's an MSPT to wrap up the year, so that, you know, the Player of the Year race, all that fun stuff. So still a lot to happen.
A lot of poker to happen.
Yeah, so stay tuned for what happens next.
Absolutely. Well, do us a favor, like, subscribe, give us that 5-star review. Nikki, thank you again for filling in for Mike. We'll have to see how his ankle holds up. If he'll be back next week, I don't know. Otherwise, we'll find another special fill-in co-host. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.